February 12, 1938, 7:15 in the morning, a Caterpillar diesel engine coughs to life inside the walls of San Quentin State Prison, its rumble echoing off stone cell blocks older than most American cities. Behind the controls sits inmate number 47,821, a 34-year-old man named Thomas Callahan. He's been awake since 5, eaten watery oatmeal and stale bread. Now he's climbing into the seat of a 12-ton bulldozer to continue building the prison that holds him. The irony isn't lost on him. A few things in life are. Callahan arrived at San Quentin 3 years earlier with a 10-year sentence for armed robbery. A savings and loan in Sacramento, December 1934 depression. Desperation turned to stupidity. He walked in with a .38 revolver and walked out with $1,100 and a manhunt that ended 2 days later in a Stockton boarding house. The judge gave him the maximum. His lawyer said he got off easy. Nobody died. San Quentin in 1938 is the oldest prison in California. And it looks it. Built by inmates in 1852 during the gold rush, when San Francisco's jails overflowed with claim jumpers and murderers, the place has been expanding ever since. The original cell block, called the Stone, still stands. 6 feet by 9 feet cells, no windows, 4 men crammed inside where one should barely fit. But the state keeps building. Has to. Inmates keep coming. This morning, Callahan's job is excavation. They're preparing ground for a new administration building, something the warden needs to manage the growing population. 2,300 inmates now, more arriving every week. The Bulldozer is a Caterpillar 60, diesel-powered, 56 horsepower, 14,000 pounds of steel and iron purchased from a dealer in Oakland. Modern machinery for modern problems. The state bought 3 of them last year, along with 2 scrapers and a steamroller. Callahan learned to operate heavy equipment before his arrest, working road crews in the Central Valley. That experience saved him from the jute mill where most inmates spend their days manufacturing burlap sacks for 12 cents an hour. A quick word. That subscribe button below, it tells me these stories matter to you, that the effort to bring them forward reached someone. It's a small action, but it means everything. And if you want longer stories, members get exclusive 20-plus minute documentaries. If you want to see how Callahan's story unfolds within these stone walls, please hit that like button. It helps us share more forgotten stories. Subscribe if you haven't already. Back to the excavation site. The guard assigned to the construction detail is a man named Walter Fisher, 48 years old, 15 years at San Quentin. He carries a Winchester Model 1912 shotgun and watches from the shade of a guard tower 20 yards away. The prison has a strict protocol for work details. Minimum 10-foot distance between inmates. No talking except work-related communication. Any suspicious behavior, the guards shoot first. Fisher has never fired his weapon at an inmate. Shaw doesn't want to, but he keeps the shotgun loaded and ready. Callahan engages the clutch, drops the blade. The hydraulic system hisses as 6,000 pounds of steel bites into California earth. This section of the prison grounds used to be open yard, packed dirt where inmates exercised under armed watch. Now it's being transformed into another component of the expanding complex. The warden, Court Smith, took control 2 years ago with a mandate to modernize, build new facilities, increase capacity, turn San Quentin from a 19th century dungeon into a 20th century correctional institution. The bulldozer blade scrapes down 18 inches. Callahan backs up, angles the machine, pushes forward again. Repetitive work, methodical. 6 hours a day, 6 days a week. Sundays off for chapel or yard time. The prison pays him 18 cents an hour for this. More than the jute mill, less than free labor, but wages don't matter much inside. Inmates can't spend money on anything except commissary items. Cigarettes, candy, writing paper, everything else belongs to the state. By noon, Callahan has moved 40 cubic yards of earth, exposing bedrock in some spots, clay in others. The foundation for the new building will require concrete footings 8 feet deep, reinforced with steel rebar. He won't pour that concrete, specialized work goes to outside contractors, but he'll prepare the site, dig the trenches, brush grade the slopes, operate the equipment that makes construction possible. This is the paradox of prison labor. Inmates build the infrastructure of their own confinement. In the 1850s, when San Quentin first opened, convicts quarried stone from nearby hills and shaped it into cell blocks where they would be locked at night. They built the walls that enclosed them. They manufactured the bars that caged them. Now, nearly 90 years later, the pattern continues. Modern equipment. Well, same principle. Prisoners constructing their prison. The guards don't discuss this with inmates. Warden Smith doesn't address it in his speeches. But everyone knows. Callahan knows. Every time he drops the bulldozer blade and pushes another load of dirt toward the perimeter, he's excavating his own captivity. Lunch is 30 minutes. Bologna sandwiches on stale bread, 10 cups of lukewarm coffee eaten in the yard under guard supervision. Inmates on construction detail sit separate from the general population. Yup, different schedules, different privileges. Callahan has been working this detail for 18 months, long enough to understand the hierarchy. The men who operate machinery hold status above jute mill workers, below clerks and hospital orderlies. Prison society has its own stratification, invisible to outsiders but rigid as steel. After lunch, he's back on the bulldozer. Afternoon sun heats the engine compartment to brutal temperatures. The seat is metal, sun-baked, while burning through his prison-issue denim. Sweat soaks his shirt by 1 o'clock. By 3, he's drinking water from a bucket, pouring some over his head to cool down. Guard Fisher watches impassively. Heat doesn't excuse stopping work. San Quentin sits on Point San Quentin, 432 acres overlooking San Francisco Bay. On clear days, inmates can see the Golden Gate Bridge under construction, rising from the water like mankind's defiance of nature. That bridge opened last year, May 1937. So Callahan read about it in the prison newspaper, the Wall City News. 47 men died building it. Engineers said it couldn't be done. They did it anyway. He thinks about that sometimes while operating the bulldozer. The bridge represents freedom, connection between San Francisco and Marin County, travel without restriction. The prison represents its opposite. Both required massive construction efforts. Both employed men working dangerous jobs for wages that barely supported families. The difference, bridge workers went home at night. By 4:30, Callahan has completed the day's excavation quota. 50 cubic yards moved, foundation trench extended 20 feet. He shuts down the bulldozer, performs the required maintenance check, oil level, coolant, track tension, hydraulic fluid. The equipment must be inspection ready every night. Any damage or neglect results in disciplinary action. Loss of work detail privileges, confinement to cell, reduced commissary access. The state doesn't tolerate negligence with expensive machinery. Guard Fisher escorts him back to the cell block. East Block, 3rd tier, cell 47, 6 feet by 9 feet, 1 barred window facing the bay, a steel bunk, a toilet without a seat. He shares the cell with 3 other inmates, a forger from Los Angeles, a burglar from Fresno, and a salt case from Oakland. 4 men in a space designed for solitary confinement. They've developed an arrangement. 2 sleep while 2 stay awake, now rotating every 6 hours. Privacy doesn't exist. Dinner is served at 5:30. Boiled potatoes, some unidentifiable meat, bread, weak coffee. Inmates eat in the dining hall, 500 at a time, guards positioned along the walls with shotguns and tear gas canisters. Meals last 20 minutes. No talking, eyes forward. Violations mean punishment. After dinner, inmates have 2 hours of yard time. Callahan usually spends it walking the perimeter alone, us thinking. Some men play cards, others gather in groups, talking quietly about their cases, their appeals, their families. The prison newspaper reports that Governor Frank Merriam is considering prison reform legislation, shorter sentences for nonviolent offenders, expanded parole eligibility. Nobody believes it will pass. Politicians promise reform during campaigns. Forget about prisoners once elected. Night falls. Cell block lights go out at 9 o'clock. Guards make rounds every hour. Flashlights checking for contraband, escape attempts, violence. The night is never silent. Men cough, talk in their sleep, cry when they think nobody's listening. Callahan lies on his bunk, stares at the ceiling, counts days. He's served 3 years and 2 months, 6 years and 10 months remaining, assuming good behavior. Tomorrow he'll wake at 5, eat watery oatmeal, climb onto the bulldozer, and continue excavating the foundation for a building that will house the administrators who manage his incarceration. The day after that, he'll do it again. And the day after that, he built the prison that built him. That's the truth of prison labor, inmates constructing the machinery of their own punishment, one blade of earth at a time. Thomas Callahan was paroled in September 1944, having served 9 years of his 10-year sentence. He found work with a construction company in Oakland, operating the same type of heavy equipment he learned at San Quentin. He never returned to prison. The administration building he helped excavate still stands, though San Quentin itself has transformed dramatically since 1938. The gas chamber, constructed by inmates in 1937, operated until 1996. The North Block, expanded during Callahan's time there, became California's first death row facility. San Quentin remains California's oldest prison. It still uses inmate labor for maintenance, key construction, and facility operations. The principle hasn't changed in nearly 200 years. Prisoners building their own confinement, contributing labor to the system that contains them. Modern equipment replaced picks and shovels. Hydraulics replaced muscle power. But the fundamental arrangement persists. Court Smith served as warden until 1940, replaced by Clinton Duffy, who implemented major reforms, including educational programs and reduced use of solitary confinement. The prison population continued growing throughout the 20th century, eventually exceeding 4,000 inmates in a facility designed for 3,000. Overcrowding became chronic. Violence increased. The death row population grew until San Quentin housed the largest condemned unit in the Western Hemisphere. The bulldozer Callahan operated, Caterpillar 60 serial number 8L1947, was sold as surplus in 1952. Its final location is unknown. The excavation site became the administration building, which served until 1978 when it was demolished for a newer structure. The foundation Callahan helped dig remained in place, buried beneath concrete and rebar, supporting the weight of bureaucracy. If this story moved you, please like and subscribe. Your support helps us preserve these histories. Tell us in the comments where you're watching from.